After you left Middle Tennessee State, now did you have visions that you're going to be able to make it at the next level, or what was your game plan at that point?
Yeah, man, just to be just completely honest with you, man, just even thinking about the next level in football as far as the NFL level, it didn't come across to probably my junior year in college. In high school, man, I played because I enjoyed and wanted to be around my guys. I was good at it. So, I played. It was more of a social club for me. So I go to college and it was like, okay, cool. This just is something to pay for, my degree and things like that. But it wasn't until my junior year when Stark set me down and he was like, I really think you can, make a lot of money. You can really go to the next level in this game. And you hear that all the time from little league coaches. Oh, this guy can play in the NFL. But again, Stark was one of those guys that I trusted. So usually I would go run track in the spring, but he just told me to just commit to football, that spring. So I did. That was my junior year and I was going to leave after my junior year. He asked me to come back to get my degree. He was always there for me as a whole person, So even though I wanted to leave my junior year, agents were calling and things like that. He wanted me to come back. So I came back my senior year, second game of the season against Memphis. I tear my MCL out for the season, So Stock was a little down with that. And I told him, man, everything happened for a reason. So I was able to get a red shirt year. And then that's when kind of like my love for coaching came about, because I was still coaching the younger guys on the team so that I wouldn't disappear from the game. So, again, I came back my fifth year, played well, and that's when things started really manifesting. Man, I could really play in the NFL, But again, until you're in the NFL, man, it's still a what if, it's still a surreal feeling, But, again, agents would call. I signed with an agent and scouts began to talk to me, but again, it was still a question on, man, is he healthy? Can he come back from this knee injury and things like that? So again, I was hearing calls on draft day. I didn't get drafted, so that was another thing like, how does this go now? So it's still that, could this possibly happen? Could I play in the league? And I came out in a weird year, I came out the lockout year, so the lockout year was much different from when guys are not drafted. Immediately after the draft, you hear from free agents, you get signed free agent and things like that as rookie free agent. The lockout year, it wasn't any of that. After the draft was over, the last guy name got called, it was done. No calls, no phone calls, no NFL. So that kind of hit me hard, not being drafted, not hearing my name called and not knowing what was going on. Crazy story after that, my agent called me. She was like, well, the UFL, they're going to open up a league. You can go play there, but the only thing is if you go play there, you sign a contract and the league open back up, you'll be stuck in that contract. So I was like, man, boss, I just want to go play football. I want to go play pro football. So I signed with Hartford, Connecticut, I'm the Colonials out in Hartford. So I signed with them, flew out there, was out there for like 2.5 weeks, not doing anything, just meetings, no practice, just out of the blue. Coach calls in and say, man, the league is shut down. We're sending everybody home. So I'm like, sheesh, what do I do now? What do I do? But again, I couldn't worry about that. So I went back home, went back to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, started back training. My agent called, said the league may open up, be prepared to get a phone call if the league opens up. League opened up. Cowboys called me, Skip Pete, that's the running back coach there now. I had a 972 number call me. So I thought it was a joke. I thought it was some of my guys just playing on my phone, So Skip called me and he was like, no, we would like for you to come in training camp and we'll give you the opportunity to make this team. He was like, I can't offer you a signing bonus, anything like that. I said, Coach, I don't need nothing but an opportunity. That's all I need. That's all I need. So, I got off the phone, called a couple of my close friends. I was like, man, Dallas going to bring training camp. I'm going to make this team. Rookies got it easy now because they get to come in just in rookie mini camp. They get rookie mini camp. They get, to ease their way into it. With me, it was a call on a Monday. We was in training camp on a Wednesday in San Antonio with the big boys, So it wasn't any time to get prepared for it. So, again, that's why I tell kids all the time, man, stay ready. So my mindset was just, the mindset that I had was just, I'm going to go make it happen, no matter what. I'm putting all distractions aside. I'm locked in. I'm going to sacrifice everything I need to sacrifice to go make this football team, So I flew out that's when we had training camp out in San Antonio.
Right. How emotional were you when you got that phone call from Skip, being that you're a lifelong Cowboy fan and you got an opportunity with America's team? I mean, anybody could have called you, but to have the Cowboys call you.
No question. It was extremely emotional, man. It was emotional that you had your ups, your downs. You going into a situation where, man, the city's on my back. I got to go do this for my city, but I got to do this for myself. So it was extremely emotional, the ups and downs of, do they really want me there? They didn't offer me a signing bonus. Do I really have a shot? But from looking at their roster, man, I knew that I definitely had a shot to go in and compete to make the team for sure. But when Skip called me, man, I was extremely excited, man. I still, to this day, I still can tell you word for word how that conversation went, where I was in that conversation, just my mindset after getting that phone call, man. One of the greatest phone calls I ever got in my life.
Biggest learning lesson you had out of that initial training camp? So, I mean, you, like you said, you had to go in after 2 days.
Yeah.
You get acclimated, you get the playbook, you got veterans, you got all these different things happening. What did you, how did you adjust so quickly? And what was the biggest learning lesson that you had?
Man, the biggest learning lesson was sacrificing and also just putting distractions away, and then working between the creases. Off days, it wasn't, let me go tour San Antonio or do anything like that. It was how can I get ahead? How can I find the guys that's working their tail off and outwork them? That was my thing. I was going to make sure that I was going to outwork anybody on the grass and that my effort was going to jump off the tape, until I was able to pick up on the offense. And then just my studying habits and knowing that if I can go in, these guys can trust me on the grass, I can make this team. John Kitna, he's one of the guys that I just latched on to once I first got there in San Antonio, just to learn the offense, and I knew everybody could run the football, but can I protect? Can I keep the quarterback off the grass? And I felt that was a way that I could definitely make the team along with special teams, just being a company guy. That was my biggest thing when I got there. The more you can do, how can I be a company guy? How can I be the first guy in the building, last guy out the building, and just doing other things that, a lot of players take for granted. The things that don't show up on the stat sheet, the things that don't show up on, the articles and the headliners, the small things that behind the scene, like just a coal miner's mentality. What can I do in the dark? And that's what I get rewarded to when everything comes to light.
Being yourself, with your speed and then some of the different things that you had done in the collegiate level, did you ever play special teams, or was this your first time getting?
No, it was my first time. It was my first time playing special teams. I played a little defense my freshman year in college. We was kind of loaded at the running back my freshman year. So I went over to defense and I played a little safety and a little nickel on the collegiate level. But as far as special teams, I return kicks. Again, that's all I did in college. As far as covering kicks or punt protection, I hadn't done any of that before I got to the NFL.